Hi everybody, this is Paul. Just wanted to say thank you for watching another video here. This one's going to be based on survival, the idea behind where most people sit after or during the time that they ask themselves the question, what if you lived your whole life and then in the end realized you had lived it wrong? You lived the whole thing wrong. There's no going back. You see, the past no longer exists. The concept of the past or the thought of the past is always with us. The memory can be with us. But the past itself no longer exists. I believe, going to a sci-fi sort of thought of things, I believe that if we can go back in time, if we had a time machine, if we could actually land on Earth in the first place, which you will see why I say that, if we can land on Earth in the first place and get out of the time machine and walk around, I believe that as we swing our hands through things to pick things up, our hands will go straight through it as if we are ghosts. Because the past cannot be changed. What has happened is happened. The past is there to make up your programming. You are programmed. Now, here's the thing. The past can be a very useful tool. It can teach you what not to do and what situation not to get yourself into, but also where the positives are in life. You know, you do this and you had a good result, so you go and you do that again and again and again. So this is what the past can be for. So everything that we've ever smelt, touched, heard, felt, experienced in the past is locked away in there somewhere. So if it's locked away in there somewhere, that means that when things are triggered, you know, the strongest way to trigger a person's memory is through smell. So when somebody smells something that reminds them of the old school days or the old place where they used to live or something like that, their memory kicks up. I mean, that parts of the brain just light up and they go, oh yeah, I remember such and such, you know, or that reminds me of. So, you know, if you want to trigger deja vu-ish type of feelings, smell something, you know, that might get you going. But think about it like this. The past is your programming. Everything up to this point right now of what you're watching is the past. Even the fact that I've just said that becomes the past as well. Even if we could change the past, this is going to go a little bit, you know, off center here. But even if you could change the past, could you imagine if you could pick something up and change the past that instantly becomes the present? Because you have done that in the present. That action of doing that then becomes a second past or another part of the past. What is done and cannot be undone. That is why when we are programmed the way we are programmed, we respond and react the way we are programmed according to our experiences and things that we have experienced in life and the things that we've been through. Now, all of our experiences don't have to be negative, and all of them don't have to be positive. Everything doesn't have to be wonderful. Everything doesn't have to be crazy. It could be neutral. The idea that you are programmed is solid. You do what you know. You know what you experience and learn. Now, the idea behind survival. Most people are programmed to survive. That's where we live. That's our basic status. Is survival. So whenever things go bad, we go into survival mode. What is it that will keep us safe and comfortable and not allow us to go over the edge? So survival mode is a value we all carry. Survival mode is something we all have, and it's something we all need to accept. So accepting your programming makes it so you can accept your survival modes a lot easier. When people say, I don't know why I do such and such, I don't know why I do this, I don't know why I do that, what they're doing is they're trying to deny that they have been programmed or they have been taught or they have learned these things from their history. And you can learn things from reading books or watching movies. One of the things that I used to say is if you want to act like someone, watch them all the time. Then I want to act like someone on TV, watch them all the time. I really enjoy my fatherhood, being a father, because I have had very good examples of fatherhood. My dad was perfect, wonderful. There are so many things that I can draw from my father that it just makes me feel like I have been programmed to be a certain way. Sure, there are a lot of things that you would want to change as a kid, like getting in trouble or getting yelled at for doing something stupid. But for the most part, my dad is my idea of fatherhood. That combined with things like the shows that I've watched or the music that I've heard or the other people that I've seen and things like that. Books that I've read that have had fathers in it, the experiences, all of that kind of stuff comes into play as well. That creates me and creates a worldview, and I respond accordingly to that. Now, here's the idea with survival. If you don't understand that you have been programmed and how to reprogram yourself or how to add to your programming, how to update your programming, that's the key, updating your programming. If you don't understand how to update your programming, then you generally stay in survival mode. If you don't find the right materials to update your programming, you stay in survival mode. All you are doing is trying to stay alive and survive in life. So many people find themselves years and years down the track thinking, I could have done, but life just didn't work out that way. It wasn't the fact that life didn't work out that way. You were stuck in survival mode and you thought survival mode was going to give you those things you desired. Survival mode is the basic of basic. That is the bottom level of where we can be. So I'm going to read a couple of quotes here. I got a couple of quotes up on the board there. I'm going to read a couple of quotes to you, and then I'm going to give you a little general idea of why those quotes tie into survival. You may hear it as it goes along. First thing I want to do is just give you the definitions of life. Just a couple of definitions. I'm sure there are other definitions from other sources, but this is one just straight offline. So life, a noun, the condition that distinguishes animals and plants from inorganic matter, including the capacity for growth, reproduction, functional activity, and continual change preceding death. So, does that say that you're accomplishing any goals? No. Does that say that you are becoming the best you can be? No. Does that say that you are becoming amazing or working on yourself and becoming the most amazing person you can be? No, not at all. That just says that you are distinguished from animals and plants. You are distinguished with animals and plants from inorganic matter. And that you do stuff and have certain attributes or certain activities before death. That is sort of the definition of life. Now we know people that's like that. They're just there. They're just there, and just doing a little here and there before death. Not actually activating and going for what they want. They're just doing whatever. The second definition, the existence of an individual, human being, or animal. That's basic. That is basic as basic. The existence. So there we have it. A condition that distinguish animals and plants from inorganic matter, and the existence of an individual, human being, or animal. How many people do you know are like that? They are just alive. All right? Maya Angelou. My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive. And to do so with some passion, some compassion, some honor, and some style. What a way. What a way to say it. When we think about our lives, are we just surviving? Or are we just getting by on whatever, we can do? Or are we actually focused on who we can become? Are we reprogramming ourselves to be successful? This is the key. And we're going to go through that later. I'm not going to do that now. It's going to be too long if I do it right now. So if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. Complain and blame people and blame the economy and blame the government. Things will never change and blah, 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 blah. But if you do what is hard now, your life will become easier and easier. You put in the work now, your life will become easier and easier as it goes. You can be exceptional. Now, these are some quotes from one of my favorite mentors. All right? So know that where you are in life right now is a direct result of what you believe is possible for yourself. So that's going to come into play a little bit later as we go over some other videos. But that is a true statement. Where you are right now in life is a direct result of what you believe is possible for your life. Nothing happens until you believe you can do it, and then you do it. I mean, almost nothing. Any action that you take, there has to be a level of belief that you can do that. So, when we talk about survival, what I want to offer is for people to own the fact that they are in survival mode and have been for however long. That when things go wrong, they jump back into survival mode and just live. Here's an idea. Here's an idea of somebody who this is a poem. It's called My Wage. It's one of the most popular poems that you can get as motivation and positivity. So here it is. It's called My Wage. I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I begged at evening when I counted my scanty store. For life is a just employer. He gives you what you ask. But once you have set the wages, why, you must bear the task. I worked for a menial's hire, only to learn dismayed that any wage I had asked of life, life would have willingly paid. People that are stuck in survival are not giving themselves the real chance at asking life for what they want. They're only surviving. Now, here's the key. Here's the key. An upgrade is due. Those people who know there's something more out there, the best way to do it is to upgrade your thinking. I have a nice formula that shows people how to upgrade their thinking. Not only how, but why it works. See, I like the fact that people say things like think positive and be positive about yourself and have a positive outlook and a positive attitude on life and things like that. But it kind of bothers me that people don't show people how. You know, there's a very general way of putting that together. It's a formula. It's very simple, but it's still a formula. So as we go through these videos, I'm going to go over a few more principles and a few more ideas, a few more quotes and things like that to get your mind at a certain place. And then I'm going to present you with the formula that I use during vocational training. Now, I found this formula to work really, really well if people repeat it. If people come back and redraw it and rewrite it out and they sort of get the idea and the concepts behind it. But first, I want you to understand that you have to know where you are in order for you to know where you're going. So are you merely surviving? Thank you.